Relief from the sweltering sun just a few hours into this heatwave. For many, it's a chance to enjoy the weather, but with a red alert on the horizon, there are warnings these temperatures will impact health and social care services.
Would you like to go outside for a little stroll before it gets too hot?
Yes, I would. That would
Yeah.
be nice.
This home supports residents with dementia and gives palliative care to some of the most vulnerable at risk this week.
Residents on a palliative care require extra attention from our staff, making sure that they are comfortable, making sure they are repositioned regularly so that pressure areas are well cared for.
How do you feel that Wednesday has now been upgraded to a red alert?
It is a concern, and we made sure that we planned ahead, making sure that everyone is informed about our expectancies, how we're going to keep this place as cool as possible through the heat wave.
Some schools closed today, while others tried to keep children cool in their classrooms as the heat wave hit.
Our buildings aren't really very well designed to deal with these kind of temperatures. So over the last few years in June and July, we do get up to, over 30 degrees in some of our classrooms.
This is the second red heat health warning issued for the UK. The first was 4 years ago. Today, the Met Office has forecast more extreme and dangerous weather conditions across the country as our climate continues to change. During the last heat wave in May, 15 people died after getting into trouble in the water.
Well, it couldn't look more appealing than on a day like today, but the UK Health Security Agency warns this weather could lead to an increased likelihood of cold water shock, with temperatures expected to rapidly rise over the next few days. What precautions are you taking on a day like today with this type of heat?
Stay hydrated and just make sure you've got sun cream on and things like that.
In a place like the UK, we kind of go crazy when it's hot and don't really think twice, but yeah, I think people should be safe.
So we all came at like 10:30 so that we could get in before it got really hot, and the whole shocking your body thing is quite scary.
As hot air moves in from Europe, tomorrow is forecast to be the warmest day of the year so far in what's expected to be a record-breaking week for the UK. Sangeeta Lal, ITV News.
Becky joins me now with more on this. Becky, how unusual is this?
Gamal, I don't think that it would be extraordinary for me to say that this is an exceptional heat event. It would be unusual enough to have 4 consecutive days with such a wide-ranging amber warning, but then to have 2 red warnings in there as well. In 26 years of doing this job, I don't remember another situation like this. This is really very extreme and it's incredibly unusual. But what does this actually mean? This is not in any way to say that if you're not in either of these warning areas, it's not going to be hot, but definitely this is really worth paying attention. Let's have a look at what this actually breaks down to. Well, over the next few days, we can expect more in the way of the disruption. We've got disruption to heat-related illness, of course, so that's not just sunburn, of course that's in there as well, but you've got heat stroke, and this is not just for the very vulnerable, the very old and the very young. This is everybody, particularly if you work outside. You've got pressure on the NHS, particularly on the emergency services. That's worth bearing in mind. We've already had school closures as well. Schools are desperately trying to adapt, and travel and energy supply disruption as well. So this is a very, very significant heat event. It should be out of it by the time we get to the end of the week, but this is definitely a very, very serious situation that needs taking seriously, certainly.
In a hot city, this seems like the only place to stay cool.
What's it like in the water?
It's nice and cold.
Nice and cold.
It feels nice, and you can chill and have fun, actually.
On a hot day like this, I can cool down. I'm going to go and cool down in a minute. Yeah, it's lovely.
Our little pool at home doesn't do this any justice.
No. The water looks fun, but it's important to be safe in the water, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So water safety is really important, especially our location. We've got the pool, we're also very close to the river. So our lifeguards are all fully trained, but we do also need everyone to stay safe, make sure they're staying within their depth if they're not that strong, and looking out for each other as well if you're coming in groups.
I mean, it is a school day, but there seem to be a lot of kids here.
And while the sun is fun for some Londoners, for others it's something to endure.
And I sleep quite a lot anyway.
Eileen Hewitt is 89, and in this heat, her fan is her friend.
cope with it quite well because in my room I've got a fan, and that keeps me cool all the time. I don't go out in the heat.
Is that the trouble with this country? It's always too cold and then it's suddenly too hot.
We're never satisfied. It's either too rainy, too wet, too hot, too cold.
It can be kind of difficult making sure that the residents stay safe. We encourage them to drink lots of fluids. We encourage things like ice lollies, cold drinks, and for them to stay in cooler rooms and shaded areas if they are sitting outside.
I think the biggest challenge is more that the older we get, we less perceive like the thirst and the hunger. So it's more about keep going little and often to offer the fluids rather than, because a lot of them don't feel thirsty or feel the heat the same way we do.
It's probably cooler inside than out, so think about closing the windows, and if the sun's coming in, closing the curtains against the sun. Not something we normally do.
And what's currently an amber warning will become a red alert on Wednesday, the highest warning the Met Office can issue. That means a danger not only to life, but power and transport.
And as temperatures rise, so will the pressure on emergency services, with a warning tonight of World Cup celebrations in a heat wave.
Of course, we want England to do well tomorrow night in the football, but alcohol might quench your thirst, but isn't going to rehydrate you.
Some parents here appear to have decided it's simply too hot for the classroom. But as temperatures climb, keeping cool remains the most important lesson of all. Rags Martel, ITV News.
Year 5 English at Drake Primary in Thetford, and the drawers that normally contain their workbooks have a new use. Like most schools, there's no air conditioning, so when the forecast hints at high 30s, they get creative to stay cool. All shade has to be utilised, and the timetable has to change.
Our buildings aren't really very well designed to deal with these kind of temperatures. So over the last few years in June and July, we do get up to, over 30 degrees in some of our classrooms, which is very challenging.
Drake is one of many schools due to take students to the Royal Norfolk Show this week, but temperatures are set to peak for it on Wednesday and Thursday. Organisers say the safety of visitors and animals is paramount, and some event timings may change.
We are constantly assessing the forecast. We're taking advice from a range of experts. We fully expect to deliver a complete Royal Norfolk Show programme, but it may be that some events are rescheduled to take part in cooler parts of the day.
The approaching heat is extreme, likely to surpass these scenes, to smash the June record of 1976. A rare danger to life red weather warning in places like Northamptonshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. Onion farmer Tim has long watched climate extremes and worried about his business, so last year he turned a poorly performing field into a vineyard. He says the soil here in Hockwold is similar to that in the Champagne region, and he's just launched his first wine.
We've had one of the worst years on onions last year that we could ever have had, and actually our first harvest of grapes was a really good one, way above expectation. So it's demonstrating that my small business has to have that variation to be able to manage different climatic conditions, really.
Managing climate extremes in a society not always set up for it is challenging, and as these forecasts become more common, as the records tumble, it's a challenge we're going to become more and more familiar with. Rob Setchell, ITV News.
Preparations for the heatwave here at the Towers care home in Birmingham-on-Sea began as soon as the extreme temperatures were forecast, ordering in extra fridges and fans. And now the amber heat alert has come into place, making sure staff and residents stay safe.
We've been trying to promote bananas and oranges for the fact that they're very good at absorbing and keeping sodium levels up, so that people aren't getting dehydrated a lot. We've ended up lucky enough having 2 air cons, so the air cons are fully on at the moment. English hot weather is very different than abroad hot weather, so we're not just dealing with it being hot, it's the humidity that goes with it, and I think the humidity is what makes people drowsy, more risk of falls as well.
While elderly residents are particularly susceptible to the heat, they're doing their best to stay as cool as possible.
I am fortunate in that my bedroom is at the front of the house and I'm surrounded by trees, so I'm never in the direct sunlight, and it's a lot cooler in my room, but even so it still gets very hot.
And some find the heat easier to deal with than others. Joan is lucky enough to have one of the cooler rooms and will be staying put to cope with the rising temperatures.
I don't like the heat because it affects my arthritis. We're going through this global warming and let's hope soon it turns cold again.
With temperatures around 30 degrees in Birmingham-on-Sea this afternoon, some people sought to cool down at the water's edge.
Well, along the shoreline there's a bit of a breeze here, which is making it feel a touch cooler, but walk a few metres that way into town and it quickly becomes really stifling. And a lot of people we've been talking to say that although they're managing to stay cool in this heat at the moment, they're a bit worried about what the rest of the week has in store.
I don't cope very well with the heat. We're not geared up for it, are we, like everything? It's like when we have the heavy snow, we're not geared up for that. We're not geared up for hot sun, we haven't got air conditioning.
It feels like we're on holiday. So luckily we don't have to go to work, so we don't have to worry about the travelling and being in the car and being in the streets and things. So we just take it easy in the garden, put the hose on us occasionally.
And a nice ice cream to keep you cool.
Yeah.
I feel the heat. I struggle with my mobility as well, so it's a bit difficult.
It's very nice because, I mean, it's not often that we do get this heat.
It's nice to enjoy it when it's here.
Enjoy it while it's here and make the most of it.
Enjoyable perhaps, but health officials say it's vital people understand the risks posed by the extreme heat, something South Western Ambulance Service is all too aware of.
So we see an increase in 999 activity, and for example on Sunday yesterday we dealt with 9.5% more incidents than we normally would at this time of the year. That clearly puts a huge amount of pressure on both our control rooms, our emergency ambulance crews, but also the wider system in terms of 999 activity.
That extra pressure prompting calls for caution, particularly as the heatwave intensifies in the coming days.
Yes, well, here on the south coast, of course, we do get some relief from the very hot weather because of the sea breeze. But even here in Christchurch today, the temperature did top 30 degrees. And the best way to stay cool is to find some shade, of which there is plenty here, thanks to the many trees. Most people who did venture out in the midday sun also wore a hat, but do spare a thought for the many parents and grandparents who are doing their best to keep babies and toddlers cool.
Yes, it's hot, but we are going to appreciate
make
it.
most of it.
And thank you.
Are you keeping him cool?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a pity that the splash park isn't open. They're a bit disappointed with that. But apart from that, we love it, don't we?
Yes.
This breeze makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it makes a massive difference. It's quite good off the water as well.
More hot days to come. Are you concerned about the little ones?
Not too much, but yeah, I mean it's not going to be easy, particularly at night, so we need to invest in some fans.
We're enjoying it. He's had a decent nap. I think the weather's helping with that. He loves his food. So yeah, we're managing okay. We enjoy the sun, plenty of sun cream.
And lots of shade.
Yeah.
Well, it was also very hot over the weekend, and especially at the Isle of Wight Festival. The clean-up has now got underway in even hotter conditions, and we spoke to some of the festival goers as they made their way home from Ryde and asked them how they managed in the heat.
Unbearable. It was so hot, but we had a great time. We had lots of little umbrellas that she used, lots of water.
Very, very warm. Yeah, it's very warm, but it's okay. It's manageable. We sat in the shade, we got some drinks, so it's okay.
Staying in the shade, to be fair, and then the air cold will be blasting when I get back in the car.
Well, like people on the Isle of Wight, we do get that cooling breeze. The higher temperatures tend to be a few miles inland, and that's where potentially records could be broken over the next few days.
Well, in terms of heat, this week is going to be exceptional. We will be breaking the current long-standing June record of 35.6. We may break our all-time summer record of 40.3. With that in mind, the Met Office have an amber extreme heat warning currently in force, and that will be rising to a red extreme heat warning through Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, in this extreme heat wave, it is tempting to cool down with a dip in the river, but that is being discouraged because even at this time of year, there is still the risk of cold water shock. It is best to stay in the shade and have plenty to drink, but it is going to be glorious, hot, sunny weather over the next few days, so if you can, make the most of it, but be safe.